Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today we are back in the Cessna Citation Longitude. It has been a long time since we've flown this beautiful lady, so we're going to be checking out following AAU2 update, which was primarily built around the 747 and the 787, but there were definitely some enhancements to the Longitude as well. So today we're going to take her out for a flight and just get some enjoyment out of it. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come along down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below, and thank you to all of my current subscribers. All right, you guys, so first off, I want to remind everyone that I do still have a full flight tutorial PDF guide on Patreon for the Cessna Citation Longitude. The avionics are a bit outdated. However, the guide itself still will get you airborne and flying in the Longitude if you guys are interested. The guide is not going to be updated. It is being completely rebuilt. Just to get everything updated and running more smoothly. I tried to simply just update certain pages, and it got messy. I didn't like the way it was formatting. There were information that had to be removed and recycled and blah, 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 and it just, So it is being completely rebuilt. It will be focused on right after the ATR 72 guide, which I would estimate is approximately 75% complete. But that guide is coming down the line as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Today, the first thing that we're going to need to do is jump into SimBrief and create our flight plan. All right, let's get this show on the road. So we're going to start by going to simbrief.com, going to our dispatch system, and let the games begin. Oh, I need to sign in. That's odd. Wonder why that's happening. Do. All right. So here we go. Let's go up here to new flight and let the games begin. So we're going to actually be doing two flights today. The first one is in the Longitude. So we're going to be flying out of Los Angeles, California. And you know what? Let me actually do something here. Let's make that a bit bigger for everybody. And we're going to be going from Los Angeles, California down to Tucson. And then from Tucson, we're going to be jumping on the Southwest 737-700 and taking it over to Houston, Texas. Much like the flight that I just did to get to the expo. So let's see here. I got to remember where the Longitude is in the list. Let's see here. No, Cessna Citation, Cessna Longitude. There she is. There's our pretty lady. All right. So let's see what we got going on here. Cruise. Let's do Mach 0.80 is our cruise today. Let's see here. We got the climb profile 250-270 and then Mach 0.8. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do the speed climb. And let's see here. Lightos, what I want. Pounds, what I want set up. All that looks good and groovy. Dots 2 Scenari, BLH, onto the Gila Bend to the Dingo 5 arrival. Looks good to me. All right, so let's come back up top. Very short and sweet, very simple. I don't worry about all the other stuff. I just basically keep it the way that I want it. Let's make sure. I do want to check something on fuel. Where's our fuel? Coming in on 1-1 left today, huh? No kidding. Let's see here. All right, so I guess we don't need any extra fuel. You used to have to tell it that you were doing an IFR flight, but apparently we don't have to do that. Okay, no worries. All right, generate flight. Dun, 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 dun. Groovy. Come on. Come on, baby. That's fine. All right, so it's telling us that our cargo is limited by max weight. Then why did it set so much? Like, really? All right, block fuel for... Okay, let's do view PDF. I always like this. Yes, this view is so much better to navigate. All right, and we'll use this as our startup. So, let's get into the aircraft. All right, so now that we're in the aircraft, we're going to go ahead and set our weights and balances. So I'm just going to load the aircraft up here. And let's see what we got total payload today. Block fuel, we're going to be looking at 4308 in pounds. So I'm going to throw that way. And let's take a look at our fuel. So currently we are at 72, so we got way more than we need. And I normally, for simulation purposes, I'll just sort of round it to as close as I can get without having to adjust everything else. I don't really worry about the payload. Yeah, I said it. But I just don't. And then, let's see here. I felt like something just changed right there, but that's all right. And then let's see what we got here. Wow, the pilot's super light. I wish... Actually, no, I don't wish I was 88 pounds. That would be a horrible thing. 6'1", 88 pounds. Dear mercy. Let's see here. And we're going to need to pay attention to our center of gravity. Let's get moving here. All right. So we got that set. Let the games begin. Alrighty. So first thing, standby power comes on. And we are going to get our left and right batteries turned on. Bing, bing. Excellent. Absolutely grand there. We're not going to worry about ground power today. We're just going to spin this up very, very quickly and get her up and running. Let's see here, coming to the overhead panels here. Emergency lights. Let's make sure they're armed. And everything else can stay. Well, let's see here. We're done refueling, so let's turn the safety and seatbelt lights on. And let's get our flight plan entered into the computer very, very quickly. And today we're just doing a very low complex flight. Not getting into all the details. We're just going to have fun flying the aircraft, seeing how she flies. So we're going from KTUS to... No, we are not. That is the other way around. Let's change that. We are going... Nope. I need to delete the flight plan. Hang on. Flight plan options. Delete flight plan. Okay, there we go. All right, so now let's try this again. We are going from KLAX over to Tucson. So add destination... Kilo Tango Uniform Sierra. Enter. All right, there we go. Now let's go over to our procedures here. Let's check our departures and let's see what we got going on here according to our flight route. According to our flight route on SimBrief, we are departing on the DOTS 2. And actually, here, I should be able to show that to you guys. Let's see how this looks. I want to make sure it doesn't overlay too much. It's not too bad. I'd like to expand that a bit better for you guys. There we go. That should work for the moment where at least you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so again, checking our departure, looking for the DOTS 2. There's our transition. We're departing from runway 24 left, as you guys can see in the beginning of the route. And we're going to hit load. Perfect. All right. And from our transition, we're going to be flying direct. So let's come back down here. Oh, here. Come on. Don't fight me too much. No need to fight me. Let's just be friends here. All right. So from right here. And we're going to be flying direct to Bravo Lima Hotel. Duplicates found. Let's see what we got going on here. Definitely not 6,000 miles away, so we're going to go for Blythe, which makes sense. Blythe, California. All right, and then from Blythe, we are going to be jumping onto the J50 Airways. So let's see here. Load Airways. Finding the J50. And we are exiting at the Gila Bend, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we are. Whoa. There we go. There's the Gila Bend. Load Airway. And from Gila Bend, we'll be jumping onto the Dingo 5 for our arrivals. Let's go ahead and find our procedures once again. Check our arrival. And here we go. Let's see here. Dingo 5, transition none, runway 11 left. Looks good. We're not going to load the approach in yet. I've had issues in the past where loading the approach too soon just causes problems. So once we join the Dingo 5, we will set up for our approach. All right, so all that looks absolutely fantastic. Let's go ahead and set our transponder code. We're going to simulate that we got a transponder code of 6621 today. Go ahead and press enter there. And the transponder is in auto, so we'll just go ahead and let it do its own thing. That's one of the nice things about the AAU updates, is they've changed quite a bit on how the functionality of these aircraft work. So we have our fuel, we have our weights and balances, we have our cargo, we have our flight plan entered. One thing I do need to set is what is our cruise altitude today? Let's come up top. And I could have loaded this all through the integration that is from SimBrief with inside the sim itself, but I actually really enjoy just loading everything in. I know it sounds crazy, but I do. Okay, so you guys can see here we have a maximum or a cruise altitude of 45,000 feet today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll on down. We're going to find where our top of climb is and make sure that the computer thinks the same thing. So let's see here. We're looking for TOC. There it is. Dots 2 just after Wild. Looks like at Wild we're at 41,000 feet. And by... Yep. Okay, so let's go to our flight plan. And let's set in our... There's dots. Well, there it is right there. And here we need to be at flight level 450. 1, 2, 3. And press enter. And we need to be at or below. Nope, we want at. Okay, let's press enter. Good. All right, and then we can come over here and we go over to VNav. Make sure our VNav is enabled, and it does look like it is. Battery discharge left and right, guys. We got to get that APU started. So let's go ahead and do that right now. We are done with our flight plan. Everything looks good. I'm happy with that. So we're going to step on back here and let's get it rolling. We're going to step upstairs for just a minute. Let me get that off the screen for you guys now. We don't need our flight plan right now. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And we're going to come up here, turn those anti-collision lights on, let everyone know, hey, we are getting ready to start. Watch your hats. And we're going to set the APU to start. Back to on. And then we're going to monitor our APU startup. %, 75%. There's 90. All right, she's good to go. So now, let's come back down over here. Ouch. And we're going to switch the APU. Ooh, it was already set to on. Center. All right. So the good news is at that point here, the battery discharge error should be resolved at this point, and it looks like it was. So that's good. We now have electrical power, and actually we're ready for startup here too, so we can just continue on down the line. So moving on over here. You know, I should probably actually start my SPAD.next. Well, that's going. The other thing that we're going to want to do is based on our Mac that we saw earlier, we want to set our nose trim. Now, let me make sure SPAD started successfully. There we go. It was on the wrong darn screen. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Longitude profile is loaded. And we want nose up. About 4.5 degrees. We're going to go for 4 degrees today. And all of this information on how we're getting the nose up trim is in my tutorial guide if you guys are interested. Okay. So we've got our trim set. We've got our APU started. We've got our flight plan set. Our transponders are set. Our VNav is set. Target altitudes are set. The only thing we still have out in the open is the approach, which we'll worry about as we get closer. I don't think there's anything else that I need to particularly worry about as far as what is going on here. Our exterior lighting, all of this should be basically set to the auto mode, so we don't really have to worry about that. That is one of the awesome parts about, again, this update. If you want to go through all of your pre-flight checks and everything like that, you do have everything set and ready to go. Parking brake is checked. Pitch and roll, disconnect, aileron trim, stabilizer trim, all that is set. Flaps are checked. So we want to make sure that our flap position, where is our flap position, are showing the same thing as what we're registering down here on the control panel. So flaps up for flaps up. Spoilers are retracted. And let's see, our flaps are off, as you guys can see there. So all that looks absolutely fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and turn the pre-flight off for now. No alarms, no issues. You have full electrical visibility now with the AAU2 update. This thing is just slick. They really did a lot. Same thing with the hydraulics, but we won't get much of that until we get everything up and running here. So let's go back to the home page here, and we're set on the split screen, which I do not like, and I have to remember how to do that. See here, I have to remember how to remove it now that I've selected it. There we go. Actually, that works for me. I like that. So, let the games begin. Let's get the engine started. So from here, we're going to start with our right engine. We're going to flip the run switch to on and then press start. It helps when I do that from the right direction. That's what we wanted first. It was dawned on me that I clicked it in the wrong order.
No takeoff.
Listen to this beast begin. It has begun. One engine stable. So again, we're going to open that up, select the fuel start, and ignition. Let her rip. Beautiful sound. Absolutely beautiful sound. And we'll get our track IR going here in just a minute. All right, FMS is set. Barometric pressure. I'm actually not believing that. Let's check the live weather METAR information. Are you really running 299 or 2 today? It's pretty rare. Let's see what it says. Los Angeles International. 270 to 11 knots. Altimeter is 299 or 2. Temperature 21. Dew point 16. Visibility 7 miles. Okay. Well, I'll be darned. 299 or 2. It is. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to complain. Makes our lives easier, right? Okay. So, at this point here, left generator. Flip it down. Set it to reset. And left gen on. Right gen down to reset. Set it to on. AAU Gen can now come to the off position. Step on back to the back again. Turn the APU off. Come back upstairs. We've already got our anti-collision lights on. Go ahead and flip that taxi light on. We're going to get ready to go here. Make sure I've got everything set here the way I'd like. We've got our heading, TA only, which is good. Parking brake, no takeoff. CAS 1. It's actually not liking my trim setting. Now, you can't want more than that. See what happens when we remove the parking brake. Because everything else is cycled, everything else looks good. Engine start switches are set. APU is off. We still have a no takeoff alert, and I do not like that. V-speeds. Wow. Be helpful if I followed my own checklist, huh? Be helpful if I followed my own checklist, folks. I went in there to get my trim information, which it turns out I'm willing to bet was right. But did not go in there to get the rest of everything else I needed. Shame on me. Speed bugs. Let's get after it. All right, so V1, let me see here. Based on our weight. V1, we should be looking at 124 knots. Rotation, 125 knots. V2, 131 knots. And VFTO, max takeoff is always 185. There we go. Okay, so simple fix. It was just something that I don't normally do until I get to the runway in the Longitude. So the Longitude and the TBM 930, the wings sit so low to the ground that typically I don't. And I know in the TBM 930 you're absolutely not supposed to because they sit super low. But I don't drop the flaps until I actually get to the hold short point, or basically getting ready to take the runway. That's when I'll drop to flap 1. So the reason why we were getting the no takeoff was that flaps 1 were not set. We've got it right now because I've got the parking brake enabled. So let's go ahead and get the head tracker turned on. And we'll get ready to get out of here. You know, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that motion blur was enabled, and I hate motion blur. Give me a second here. How did that get turned on? I've had that off for the longest of times. Absolutely the longest. Guess in the last update, messed with my stuff, man. What's my stuff, bro? Okay, so now, last thing I want to do is come back to the home page. Go back to our map, go to full screen. There we go. And let's change some distance here. Oops, changing comms. There we go. Alright, and we can see 2-4 left up there. Alright, let's let the games begin. So, let's get rid of that parking brake. I think my favorite part all around about the Longitude is how fast it climbs. The thing is a rocket. Expedite crossing our runway here. Should be 2-5 left. Whoa, 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 little fast, little fast, little fast. It's 2-5 right. Okay. There we go. Such a beautiful airplane. Oh my gosh, I'm taxiing at 42 knots. Holy crap. Oops. That is the problem with this aircraft, man. She gets going. I get to looking around, then you just stop paying attention. LAX looks absolutely phenomenal. Love how busy it is. It's nice to see aircraft here. We are back up to 40. Girl, slow down. How much of your throttle do I have to take out of you? You are not behaving, young lady. You're gonna get me in trouble. We got a 747 over there. Is this our crossing point? I always get so lost right here. Every time I try to cross, I totally did not get that right. Damn it. I'm trying to just use the onboard system here, and it screwed me up. Meaning that I'm not trying to use Navigraph charts or anything, but maybe we'll start charts. Let's just get it started now. All right, we've taken the runway. Let's get her out of here. Flaps up.
12 o'clock. Low. Less than 1 mile.
Climbing like a rocket. Flaps are up. That's why with these kind of flights I don't like using track IR. Just because there's constant so much mouse on wheel here. We're going to bump our altitude up. Clear for Angels 2-4. You guys like that? Throw some little military lingo in. Let's go 25,000. Pass through 10,000 feet. Let's get those landing lights turned off. Taxi light off. And as far as our speed goes, let's kick us up to 270 knots. Turn and burn, baby. Turn and burn. increase our altitude. We're going to go all the way up to cruise now. Reset our barometric pressure. We're already at standard, so we're good there. Alright, so from here, it's just a quick climb up to cruise. And I'll talk to you guys as we get closer to the top of descent, which we'll address once we get up to our cruise altitude. Talk to you guys in a few. Alright guys, so quick status update. We're up at our cruise altitude. We have switched over to our speed setting from knots to Mach, or indicated to Mach I should say. Set our target for Mach 0.82. We are at Mach 0.82 and stable. So now it is time for us to step on back downstairs and get our approach loaded in. So let's go ahead and do that now. So we're going to go to flight plan. I'm going to go to procedures. We're going to get our approach in. We've got ILS 11 left. Transition wants vectors, but vectors aren't going to exactly work for us. Well, I guess we could always fly it in manually. Let's see here. Minimums for 11 left. Let's go ahead and enter those in though. Looking at 2,800. So we're going to go 2800. Enter. Got our minimums in. We'll leave this as vectors for now. Just turn on to the final approach. And we're going to hit load. Yep, that's fine. Okay, then we're going to go to VNAV. Actually, there it was right there. Let's back up one. Oh, now I lost it. That sucks. I had it. Alright, here we want to be at... I don't want a speed constraint. I want set my altitude. Alright, so once... Listen, we need to be at 5,500 feet. Cool, it's already got it in. So now we should be able to go to VNAV. VNAV enabled. Let's see here. Descent. All profiles are set. I think what I'll actually do is come on down. It's probably because of the vectors. Let's come up here. Let's see here, 10,000 feet. Gila Bend, flight level 350. That's going to be too high. For Gila Bend, I'm going to set this down to 18,000 feet. Flight level 180, press enter. Press enter again. Then we should be able to go to our VNAV. And we've got a top-up descent in 10 minutes. There we go. Yep, there it is right there. There's our top of descent on the screen. And that will be ideal for me. 35,000 feet at Gila Bend. That was just going to be too high. That's going to be a very, very steep descent if we did that, in my opinion. So, perks of being the pilot in command. So, in 10 minutes, you guys, I'll be back when we start our top of descent. All right, my friends, so we are a minute and 20 seconds away from our top of descent. We've already got our target altitude set in, currently at 18,000 feet. We'll be coming down from 45,000 feet. Speed reduction should happen automatically. Go ahead and switch that over to the FMS. Let it take control here. There's our top of descent that's been reached. Well, let's see here. We have what? 50 seconds. Let VNAV take over from here. Seconds. down she goes. Easy peasy. At this point, I'll put us actually back in manual mode. I didn't like what it was doing there. I'm going to set us back. Oops. Let's go for a Mach 0.72 on the descent here. Nice and slow. Got plenty of time. There's the Gila Bend. There's Dingo. It's a few minutes and we'll be on the ground here. Check that out.
Clear of conflict. Traffic, 10 o'clock. High, less than 1 mile.
Awesome. There's a TCAS working for you guys. That was kind of cool. Anyway, continue our descent. Alright, you guys, so we are just passing through 22,000 feet. Coming up on the Gila Bend, we're going to go ahead and increase that descent. Take us down to about 6,000. And let's start slowing our aircraft down. And first thing we need to do is get it out of Mach mode. That'll help. And then we're going to take our speed. Gosh darn it. And start slowing her way down. Should have caught that a little sooner. I stepped away from the cockpit for a little bit. Let's take her down to about 270 knots here. Next turn coming up. So far we're looking really good. Haven't had any issues throughout the descent. VNav managed it the whole way down flawlessly. Right where we belong. Alright, and there's the passing through 18,000. Let's see if we can capture Tucson's MEDAR information yet. I don't know if we're going to be close enough just yet. Yes, we are. 101 miles. No MEDAR available. Oh, you are so full of crap. I hate that crap. Okay, so that's fine. Let's assume live weather is going to be working correctly. I'm going to go ahead and just look it up on my phone. And let's see what we got here. KTUS MEDAR. Let's see what we're running today. Most recent post is we've got altimeter 2987. Let's see what the sim gives us. I don't know that unfortunately that's changed. Yeah, it's a load of crap. We are definitely not 29902, I can tell you that right now. So we're showing 2987, winds 330 at 13 knots, gusting at 23 knots is what it's showing. Temperature 42, dew point 0. Fact. That is a fact. So we're going to hope that the live weather catches up and that 2987 is accurate. So let's go ahead and get that adjusted right now. 2987. I hate when it does this. I don't understand why the live weather works sometimes and not others. Or if it just, because we're too far, we're 90 miles out now. Oh, now it came up. 2987, it caught it. That is exactly what I just read offline. Cool. Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. I was getting a little worried. So, 330. Trying to think here. Well, let's look at our compass rose here. So we're coming in on 1-1 left. Yeah, 330 would still be right. We wouldn't use 29 right. Okay, yeah, no. All right, I was second guessing myself for a second, thinking that maybe we needed to change runways, but nope. We'll continue on for 1-1 left. And why did you stop climbing, little buddy? All right, so let's just go vertical speed, and let's bring us down at... Let's take us down about 2,000 feet per minute, because I've been sitting with my thumb up my rear for a few minutes, so... Starting to get that knocked out here. I'm also going to start slowing the aircraft down. Let's bring it down to 200, and let's go like 55 knots for now. Making sure I can catch up with everything else. Let's check our radios. So audio and radio. Let's check nav. 111.7. I actually think that's correct for Tucson. Stand by. Let's see here. KTUS. Where are you? Airports. KTUS. Charts. Approach plate. ILS 11 left. And ILS frequency no was 111.7. Oh, no, never mind. It got it. It got it. We're good. All right, 111.7. All right, so we got that. Final heading 123 degrees. So when it comes time, we'll set that. I'll go ahead and just leave the chart up on my screen here. But that is good to know. And yes, I could be doing all of this in the aircraft. I just fly with multiple monitors, so for me it's just easier to have everything up, you know. And honestly, I don't know that I completed the SimBrief integration since I reinstalled the Longitude. I did a reinstall a couple months ago. Because I deal with so many add-ons and so many mods and so many tools and things change so rapidly, I will usually about every... I don't know, 6 to 8 months, I'll do a complete reinstall of the sim. Just to sort of refresh everything. All right, let's see where we're at here. Let's come back. All right, so at Dingo. Okay. 13,000 already. Oh, that looks about right. Let's maybe reduce that a little bit. Let's take it up to about 1,200 feet per minute. I turn the track IR off a lot of these times when I'm in this stage of flight, just because there's so much manipulation of the controls. I hate that the mouse is constantly moving, and I don't like the latch mode because then it highlights everything blue, and I can't stand that. It's like I still want to keep the, I don't know, immersion of everything being the default panel colors, right? Without having to necessarily, you know, lose the mouse. So this is just the easiest way to address it. Usually when I get down closer to the approach, as we turn final, things like that, usually I'll turn the track IR back on. But in case anybody's wondering why, that's why. Drinking that Monster. Love my Monster. We're waiting. Let me see if I can get my sim link to finally work. Oops. I never did start the damn thing. Coming up on 10,000 there. Let's get our lights turned on. There's Tucson right there. Reduce that descent rate a little further. There we go. Now I got my Navigraph charts working correctly. Cool. Altitude's actually looking pretty good. We're almost right on point. We're a little ahead of schedule, not by much. Alright, so we are low enough now, and we're continuing on down in. At this point, I'm going to set our altitude down to about 3,000, and I'm also going to activate our approach. So we're going to go to flight plan, we're going to go to procedures, and activate vectors to the approach. And let's change our heading. Gosh darn it. See, this is what drives me nuts. You know what? Why don't I just think of that? There we go. And then what I'm gonna do... fly direct. Activate. There we go. Alright, and let's set our course here. So course for our runway. There we go. Is 123 degrees. Let's get that dialed in. And I'm going to activate the approach mode, which cannot be picked up yet. Cool. Alright, radio is tracking. Localizer 1, good. Going to maintain course until we catch a capture. Got a little low. Got ahead of me again, but oh well. Nobody's perfect. Oh, crap. You know what? Let's just stay on Localizer 1, and we'll do this the old-fashioned way for now. Bring it right, baby. I've got you. Like I said, a couple mistakes there, guys, but this is exactly why I do not delete my mistakes. This is why I keep everything exactly as is. And look at that, we capture the localizer. So, good stuff. Now let's see where we're at. No glide slope yet. That makes perfect sense. We're still pretty far out. What's our distance here? 26 miles, although we are sitting at 2,800 feet, so that should not be an issue. Oh, we are not sitting at 2,800 feet. We're sitting at 6,800 feet. Interesting. Let's start slowing things down, though. So we're going to kick her down to 200 and... Gosh darn stupid zoom. I need to change my zoom axis. That's just all what it comes down to. I changed my damn zoom axis. We're going to bring it down to 210 knots for this particular portion here. And then we're going to figure out our V speeds, which I am way behind on. Now we're going to go flaps 1. Actually, we're going to go flaps 2. Okay. And then we're going to come on over here to our speeds. I need to bring up our stuff here. What's the document say? Okay. Current weight. Okay. Alright, so we're going to be looking at about 113 knots for the approach and 108 at touchdown. See how this goes. Okay. There's a glide slope coming in. Approach mode is activated. Back in a nav mode. Let's turn towards our... Gosh darn it, stop doing that. Turn towards our intercept course. We need to capture the glide slope, which we are going to be doing soon, but I need to get on the runway heading. There's our runway right there, so we should be catching it shortly. Monitoring our course line here. There it is. All right, here it comes. And approach mode was activated. All right, let's start bringing our speed down. Speed's going to start coming down. Get it all the way down to where it belongs. We're going to bring the gear down. There she is. Glide slope is captured. So we're a little high on it, but we were able to catch it right in the middle, so... Or we were a little low, I should say, excuse me. We weren't high. Alright, let's go flaps 3. Taxi light on. Alright, pulse lights come off. Interesting. Let's come off on automatically. All right, we've disengaged autopilot. We've disengaged auto throttle. Flaps at full. A little low. Got my target zone in sight. Definitely feeling that wind. They weren't lying.
Minimums. 200.
Come on.
100.
That's right.
50.
Ooh. Reverser's out. Ooh, come on. Reverser stowed. Come on. There is definitely some odd behavior in this one with the nose wheel and the wheel brakes, at least for me. They're really behaving like crap. All right, we've cleared the runway. Let's stop the aircraft. Clean it up. Flaps coming up. Let's get our lights turned off. Taxi's still on. Da 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 da. Still good. Okay. Good, good. All right, I think we're good. All right, let's get... Turn flight directors off. I didn't feel like running through another plane. Well, and okay, so that wasn't entirely my fault. I would rather have the immersion breaker of running through dirt versus running through another plane. Because here's the thing. Active runway right now is 11 left based on the weather report that we just saw and the weather report that the sim reported. Active runway is 11 left, which we landed on. And they have a airliner taxiing out to 29er right, which is the opposing runway. Gosh darn, come on, rudder pedals, man, what's going on? So, it's like you pick... I had to pick the lesser of the two evils. I don't know which one was lesser of two evils, but... Long story short, that airliner should have been taken off on the runway that we landed on. Instead, it's going out the other direction, which is against the MEDAR information that we were provided. So, long story short, the airliner never should have been there. And that's why that kind of crap frustrates me. And that's why I hate the in-game air traffic manager. It's garbage. Never works well. drives me crazy. So my initial plan was to go right over there to the executive terminal. That's what it is now. That's the old air traffic control tower. It is no longer active. It is now, like I said, the executive terminal. That was our planned destination until our airliner decided to come at me head on. So we're going to bring it over here and just sort of park it in the back. We'll say this is where we want to be. Got a couple garages over here. All right, there we go. Parking brake set. All right, let's start shutting this girl down. Shutdown, luckily for us, is pretty easy. Just going to hit stop there. And we're doing a full cold and dark here, so I'm not particularly worried about APUs or anything like that. We're going to come on up here. Ah, gosh darn meal. Turn that off. Color all of our lights off. Seatbelt signs off. Emergency exit lights to off. Come down. Gen's off, which I should have turned off before I did this, but oh well. Battery 1, battery 2, standby power off. Okay, so little rush on the shutdown, but it was a long flight. What can I say? Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely a couple of mistakes were made there, a couple of odd behaviors with the Longitude itself. Hopefully those get ironed out. Why did you do that? I hate that. That is not what I asked for. Anyway, okay, I am done fighting with the damn simulator now. It is being very odd, and I don't know why. Yeah, I did not ask for this view at all, and it won't let me get out of it. I literally... There. I don't know what the hell that was about. Ooh, girl. Why are you being like this to me? Anyways, there she is. Okay. Me and Microsoft need to talk a little bit, apparently. We're apparently having a fight day, and I didn't think that we were fighting today, but apparently we're fighting today. So, as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next one where we're in the 737 flying here from Tucson over to Houston.